pas de l'autre côté.
Whenever you're ready.
Yep. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. We hope you're doing great on this fine Thursday morning. Let us maybe start by introducing ourselves. Richard, you want me to start?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. So my name is François. I'm a product owner at Odoo. I'm in charge of spreadsheet and dashboard, along with other applications. My main responsibility is to understand how you use our application in order to improve your experience with them. So in short, I need to make sure that you get the best of what Odoo can offer.
Right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Richard. I'm a business analyst and also a tech expert for Odoo. My day-to-day job consists in just helping customers reach our goals in terms of implementing Odoo for their business. So that means that with time, I really got the opportunity to discuss how the business operates, and I became a specialist in customization and dashboard creation, which is why I come along with François today for this session. So welcome to this talk, dedicated to showing all the novelties for spreadsheet and dashboards. We would like to present them both at the same time because they are so interconnected with each other that it made more sense for us. But let's jump into the agenda for today. We'd like to first start with a bit of context as to how those apps were born really and what is their purpose. Then we'll go over the goals that we set ourselves for this year in order to move into the right direction, and then comes the fun part. We'll go to the what's new in the demonstration so that you really see how those features work in action. We'll quickly wrap it up, of course, for the next 20 minutes, but for now, let's just start with the context.
Yeah, so first of all, why spreadsheet? Well, we all use spreadsheet applications in our daily life. In fact, it's one of the most commonly used tools in any industry. So that's why in 2020, we decided to develop our own spreadsheet application. If I'm not mistaken, it was released with Odoo 14, right?
Correct.
Yeah. But we quickly realized that we needed to go one step further. Manipulating the data in Odoo was not enough. We also needed to provide a centralized place where people could visualize and analyze properly the data that were manipulated initially in spreadsheet. So that's how last year with Odoo 16, we presented our revamped Odoo dashboard application.
Right. And as for the integration of dashboard and spreadsheets, you need to know that they are very interconnected with documents. In fact, all your spreadsheets will be located in Odoo documents, and this is a great place to start because you can just take any Excel file from your computer, upload it in Odoo documents. From there, you can convert it into an Odoo spreadsheet, right? From there, you really enter the new world where you can just get all the data from Odoo as well as manipulating, analyzing on your data with the Excel formulas you will find in there before finally publishing it in dashboard once you are happy with the results. And as impressive as it may sound, it may also be a bit overwhelming for new users. So that is why we really wanted to make a first step towards you guys that want to also get data-driven as well. So if you now open any Odoo database and the dashboard app more specifically, you will find a huge range of dashboards already there for you that is matching your Odoo usage. If you use sales, you will have a lot of dashboard related to your sales, your products, and so on. If you use stock, of course, we'll show you your inventory valuation, and this is super great. If you're interested into really mastering those standard dashboards, understanding how to read and just use them better, I will reference you to another talk of ours that takes place tomorrow morning. From there, my colleagues can guide you on this topic. But for now, François, I want you to head last topic here.
Last point in terms of capabilities. What can we achieve with spreadsheet and Odoo? Well, we tend to believe that we can do almost anything with them. It's almost infinite. You can start from anywhere in Odoo, almost, at least from any data available. You can push them into a spreadsheet, manipulate them using all the fancy functions we give access to, add a bit of polish on them, and put them into a nice interactive dashboard for the other users. So if I had to summarize what Odoo Spreadsheet and Odoo Dashboard can do for you, I would say that it allows you to upskill your business intelligence practices by manipulating, analyzing, and forecasting the data. But to make sure we do that properly, we set ourselves 3 goals in order to develop in the right way those applications. First of all, the first one is to reduce the gaps with other spreadsheet applications. Obviously, we need to make sure that people can find their marks and find the same functionalities that you can find in other spreadsheet tools. So that's our first goal.
Right. Our second goal for this year was really to increase the added value that you get from using Odoo Spreadsheet. And that means that if you use Odoo Spreadsheet, you will have all your data already in there natively in Odoo, live and synchronized. And for this very reason, we really put the effort into focusing on data retrieval and also performance specifically.
Yeah, and last but not least, Fabien said it enough, I think. We need to make sure that it remains easy to use. So we work a lot on the usability and the ergonomics to make sure that it's easy for as many people as possible to use our spreadsheet applications. All right. enough chit chat. Let's start and discover what's new in Odoo 17 for Odoo Dashboard and Odoo Spreadsheet. Buckle up, because it's going to be a dense one, all right? Richard, could you give us maybe some context about the demo of today?
Right, so today's context here, I would like to play a small game with you guys. Let's just imagine that we just started an ice cream truck business. Yeah, you heard me well, an ice cream truck business. So you may have noticed that weather is not so suited to selling ice creams anymore, but let's just imagine that even though we're in Belgium, we managed to launch this business successfully together. So now that we're in November, all our sales are of course decreasing, things are getting more and more quiet, so that's why we're going to take a step back here and try to reflect on our summer sales. Another very important approach of every business really is to identify external factors that may really drive how our sales, how our business is operating. So this is why in our case, we also have a look at the influence of temperature, right? But let's get started. We'll join with Odoo right here. And François, did you get the file from the Belgian Meteorological Institute website as we discussed?
Yeah, I did, but let me be honest, they look a bit crappy, actually.
Crappy.
It's actually tough to find some past data forecast about weather without paying, at least. So what I did is that I just copied what I could find on the weather website.
I'm sure you did your best.
Yeah, well, you're going to see what it looks like. Right, so you've already discovered this new Odoo main screen. Let's upload the XLS files and jump into a spreadsheet. You can see that now we offer the possibility to send the source file to trash, because usually it's on your laptop anyway, so don't need to keep it, especially if you have many versions coming after that. All right, so that's a bit the way it looks.
All right, is it the file that you got?
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry about that.
Not so great. I think there's a lot of things that we're going to show here, so let's make a small list, shall we? So let's create a new tab here, just list up all the different tasks in there and then follow up on the status. I suggest we first start with cleaning up this data. What do you think? Yeah, cleaning data in there. What would you imagine next?
It could maybe help if we could visualize better how they look like.
Oh, cool, yeah. We have a lot of improvements on the condition formatting as well, so let's get some visuals going for the temperature. Then at that point,
yeah, we can maybe combine with Odoo data to show the integration.
The huge added value of being in Odoo Spreadsheet that you can combine it with data from Odoo, so of course we are going to do that.
Then everything looks better in a chart, right?
In a chart. Do you like it? I would also add another step here, because if you have data from Odoo, you can of course filter out on it. So I'll just play with some filters in there.
Good idea.
And I think that would be enough, right, for the demo. Let's just publish it afterwards.
Yeah.
Publish it. Nice. So all those tasks there can now be also followed up with a data validation feature that we got. You can add a new rule here to say that you can select values from a list. Here I only want to have the idea whether it was to do or done, right? If I do this, I now have a nice drop-down menu that I can select and use a nice shortcut here to get everything done, right? So let's jump into it. First item, cleaning data.
Yep.
So all those values in there are separated by commas. I can just select the column now, go to data, and then split the text to column. I will of course have everything detected, because there is of course a comma here, confirm, have everything split out quite nicely. I do see the day, the month, and the year. First idea would be to consolidate it into a single date, right? So let's get it started. Go here, another column, add a date, and then you can just compute the date by specifying first the year, then the month. Oops, I went a bit too fast. Just a second. B2, and then finally A2. Right? From there you have the date. Just created. You can just drag it down to the bottom by double-clicking on that one, and that is quite great. Another one here, I do see the minimum temperature, the maximum one. I guess I would prefer a single temperature for the day, so that's why I'm just going to take the average in that case. So the average temperature. I just never remember if it is AVG or average. I need to write there.
No, maybe you can check in the insert menu. You can find all the functions there.
Right, you can go to the insert here, insert in your function, you can find the average, and also all the other functions that we cover now. There are so many of those that we created, so it's even hard now to think of a formula that we don't cover anymore. So let's just take the average here, take those two cells, and again, get it down to the bottom. Quite nice. I suggest we get them out in a new clean sheet, right? Let's copy it and create it a new one that I want to also put at the very beginning, and I would like to paste it as value. Or use our new shortcuts as well with the Ctrl-Shift-V here to get all the raw data really loaded in. I will need to reformat the dates, of course. And you will see that there are a lot of date formats that we now cover. I will just use a simple one for this demo. Right here, so quite nice. Let's try to put some makeup on it. So realign here, put it in the middle, and that looks quite nice. What do you think?
It does, but I think you have some duplicates in there.
Duplicates, right? We have several times the same date here. That's not a worry, of course, because you now have the data cleanup feature to remove the duplicates. I'll just select all the columns, say that there's a header row, and I will say here that I would like to remove the duplicates based on the date, so that if you see multiple times the same date, you will remove those values. There we go. Everything was cleaned up. You have every single day one at a time, and that should be the end of the first step,
Yeah.
right? Cool. So this is marked to be done now. Second one, visuals on the temperature. Okay, that's the good one. I'm going to select all those temperature in there and then show you what we can achieve here. Go to Formats, Conditional Formatting, and now you can add a new rule. I will first start with a single color. So this will color all my cells in a single color based on a specific condition. In our case, we could say that we color them in green if they are above the average, right? So I can now go into this option here and say that if the value is greater than either a static value that I can write down here or even a formula value, then you are able to get something that looks like this. So the average of the same range in that case. There we go, save, and now all the values that are above the average are colored in green. Okay? We can go one step further and get even fancier. Actually, we go to the color scale here, and I would like things to really reflect how the day was. So I will just start with the percentile to say that the lowest value would be in white, the average value would be in a light red, right? And then the final value will be in a bright red. So 100% right here, and 50% for the intermediate value, save, and boom. Something that really reflects how hot the day was, okay? Quite nice. I do like the visuals. Let's call it a day for that second step here. Quite nice. Let's combine it now to Odoo data. So we got everything externally speaking inserted in Odoo. We cleaned it up. We put some visuals. It's now time to combine. What would you suggest for that one?
I guess we could use the past sales.
Past sales, good idea. Yeah. Let's go back to our main menu here. Go to the sales app, right? And then in the sales app, you can go to the reporting menu here to have a good starting point. Here you will see that all our sales are relocated into the summer season, of course, for 2022 and 2023, and this is quite great. But in our case, I would like to insert a pivot table instead, because we have everything related to a single day. So I will, of course, group by the day of the order date, and then you have all the sales. You can now insert it in spreadsheets. If you click on this menu here, you can see that you can either create a new spreadsheet or insert it in an existing one. You will also have the choice to insert it in an existing dashboard if you ever forgot something on the dashboard, but in our case, we want to combine it, so let's just select the previous spreadsheet. Let's go right here. This is all the data that we saw before, right? And based on the date, we can now combine it quite easily, actually, with just a VLOOKUP formula that will look for that date in the specific range that we defined before, right? Have a look at the second column to match the temperature, and then there we go, right? You have now the average temperature for that day for every single sales, and everything is now combined. Great. So that marks the end of that specific step here. Another behavior I would like to show here is also the filters. So I inserted something from Odoo, right, with all the dates in there. I would also like to play around with this data. So this is what we are going to do with the global filters that you can see on the top right. And you will see that they are really more powerful than the static Excel filters as you would be used to. So I will add a new filter here, three different sorts. I will first start with the date. The date here lets you choose first the name, right? So I can just write date in there. And then you have the choice between three different options. So the first one lets you select a specific month or a quarter in a specific year. The relative period, of course, this will filter out on the last week, the last year, the last month, and all those kinds of relative periods. And finally, the new one that we're going to showcase here is the from to feature. And this one lets you select a starting date and an end date, and is super powerful. So then comes the part about the field matching. The field matching here is there for you to explain to Odoo which date you would like to select. So that if I select the 1st of July, it really chooses a specific date. Because there are so many dates involved in a sale order. You can have the creation dates of the quotes. You can have the confirmation date as well, the delivery date. So many dates that revolves around a sale order. So that's why you need to explain that here I only want to filter out on the order date specifically. Let's just save right here and see what data we have. So let's just move around here. I'll go to August 2023, for example, and say that I want to get the data starting from the 8th of August until, say, the 26th, right? And you will see that all the data already changed in there. If I now have everything covered, you will see that all those values that were between those dates were there kept, right? And all the others were filtered out. And this is quite great because you now see the data that really you selected in your filters, but you could tell me that here you still see the other days.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful, but it might be nice if we could remove all the empty cells.
Right, because here, because of how the formula was built, you will see that it really forces the date to be on a specific value. So that's why once you first insert it, it will keep a certain inertia of what was inserted. Okay, but now let me show you a new solution that we have here, a new formula that we get that really show a dynamic value of this pivot table. And this one is called the Odoo pivot table formula, a brand new one that uses the multi-cell feature that we now released. And if you do that, you just select a specific pivot table, number 1 in that case, and if you press it, you really see the dates that are related to your filter. So in that case, I only see the relevant values. If I now remove this filter, you can see that now everything got loaded in once again, and it really reflects the dynamic nature of your data. Great. So I can, of course, VLOOKUP my temperature again at that point in order to get the same combination as I had before, with the VLOOKUP again of that specific date in the range from before, right there. And also, I need to keep it empty if it wasn't found. Keep this formula up to the bottom, and there we go. Great. Super nice. Now we get some charts going on, right? Yep. So let's try to see also how it visualizes on a specific graph. So let's put the date in there, the temperature on that specific column, and then select it. From there, you can just insert a graph. I will just remove the sales, the column that was in between, and then use a line chart for that one. Okay, so now I do see the evolution of the temperature across the 2 summer seasons, and that is super nice. Let's do the same for the sales. Going to the sales here, and same work. I'm just going to select those 2 columns, insert the chart in a line format, of course, and now I do see the sales. And a new feature I would like to also showcase here is that once you have different elements that you also need to align, you have the snap function now. That lets you really align it and keep a very crisp overview of your data, right? Super professional. You will also see that all the graph show the right title directly because it understood that the temperature was used first and that the sales second, and that is super nice. On a specific graph, you can also add a link to an Odoo menu. So in that case, I would want to say that whenever I click on that graph, I will go to my reporting sales menu, also another option that we have. Great. Doesn't it look nice?
Looks pretty cool. Maybe we could also show the different product categories.
Right, we do sell a different range of products. So we are selling ice cream, sorbet, and sundaes as well. So we have also to get this value. So let's just jump back into our sales analysis here, and then use another dimension. I will just group by this product category and see that I do sell those categories in there, and let's select different measures. Different measures here to see what was sold the most, so quantity ordered, and also the tax total. You can also sort it out to see what was the most sold first, and then insert it in the existing spreadsheet once again. It will open a new sheet, as it was before. And now I would like to put it in my initial sheet right there, so I can simply just use the Odoo pivot table formula that we saw before. Odoo pivot table, number 2, in that case, the second pivot that we inserted, and there we go, right? Just resize it a little bit, hide those columns as well, new thing that we can do, and then take the graph back to the middle, right? Nice. Why don't we publish it?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's do so. Going to File here, Add to Dashboard. I will select a specific name, so let's just call it the ice cream analysis, and then put it in the sales section that makes the most sense. You can also select at that point to which group of users you would like to publish the dashboard. In that case, I just want anyone to see it. There's nothing sensitive about it. Let's create this specific result, and I forgot, I'm sorry, to move the first sheet. So as you saw, the mistake that I made here was that my first sheet was used as for the dashboard. That's normal. I only want to put this one instead. So I'm just going to move it forward to the first place, and let me create it again. It's still quite fast here to sales, creating, and there we go, right? So this is our final result. You have all the data in there, you have all your graphs as well, and you now have the filters on the top that really lets you explore what you want to see. So again, if I just take August 8th until the 27th, right there, oops, everything moves around and everything is really dynamic in that sense, and you can also see what was sold at that time. So on top of everything that we did here, we added a lot of formulas, to be honest, and also a lot related to BI and statistics. Although we don't have the time to show them live here, we do have a file from our R&D here that really checks for the influence of temperature on our sales. So here you will have all the temperature and the sales related to that. This gives a specific curve, the dark blue one, to which we try to modelize and fit a model that really represents the most how this behavior is there. So you try the linear one, the quadratic one, and the cubic one. It just ends up that the cubic one is the most adapted to this value, right? And this is super nice. Don't you like it?
Yeah, it looks so nice. I'd like to share it with the world. And actually now we do. So you might have noticed that on the top right of the screen, you can have a share button. You can use the share link, and it will display a frozen version of your dashboard that you can send to anyone, even outside of Odoo. On the right-hand side, we also added a panel that will show all the filters that were used, so that people know exactly what they see in this dashboard. We actually did the same in spreadsheet. So if I go back to my sheet, you can see that the button is also there. But that's not all we did in terms of collaboration. We also added the version history. So everything that Richard did during this demo use case has been stored. And so you have all the revisions available. You can select one of them and create a copy of this version that can be used afterward if there was some mistake made at some point. But that's not all. It's been fairly request, a lot of time. Now the creation of a spreadsheet will be based on the format of the user that is creating, meaning that the dates and the number formats will adapt based on your Odoo configuration. You can actually see in which local you are by going to settings. You see now that I'm in English mode, so the numbers are separated like this and dates are displayed like this. But let's say I'm Belgian French speaking. I can go there, select the new one, and the dates automatically changed, as well as the separator. So yeah, in terms of collaboration, that's it. I think you wanted to say something about the right.
Access right, that's true.
Yeah.
Just a quick last point here to show you what we did. For now, for every single user, you are able to choose the right of being able to create and manipulate dashboards. So if you just take this specific user right here, you will see that you now have a new dashboard group from which you can be an admin. The admin is able to create those dashboards, go to configuration, and then re-edit it as well. If you don't have any right for dashboard, you may only see them as long as you have the right on the dashboard itself. So this is the first step. The second one here is going to dashboards. And on a specific dashboard, as we saw, you can make it visible to a certain group of users. And then the last level of access that you will have is that even for a dashboard that you may see, if all the data in there is related to something that you don't see, you won't see it. So that means that if you have only the right to see your own sale orders, even though you see the dashboard that show all sale orders, all the figures in there will still only reflect your own. Okay? Right, so that's it for the demo, I think. That's all we wanted to present. So let's wrap it up.
Yeah, let's quickly wrap it up. So maybe let's quickly recap what we just said. In terms of manipulating the data, so we added the data validation. We improved the conditional formatting. We improved the global filters. We improved the text formatting. We put some intelligence on the charts. We released something like 46 new functions, including the soon-to-be famous Odoo pivot table. So quite a deep version in terms of manipulation. In terms of collaboration, I showed you the version history, as well as the format based on the user configuration. And last but not least, we can now share spreadsheet and the dashboard with the outside world.
Great, thank you, François, for the wrap-up. So this is the end of our talk. Spreadsheet dashboard will still evolve, of course, to match your goals and also our vision of the apps. I hope that this version met your expectations, of course. For now, we just are super eager to show you what will come next in Odoo 18, because there's so many things that we still want to do. But let's just have fun with this tool for now. Thank you for coming along. I hope that you had a great stay. We'll answer your question from the pad. Or maybe nothing. Are we too short?
No, I think
we are too short for the question, I'm sorry. So will you find us at the studio booth in hall number 10. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.